All right, so this is our first podcast, and I'm here with Corey, who is the editor-in-chief of Concert Crap. I guess that would be your title, correct? What are you? You own everything, right?
I'm kind of, everything. I actually looked at another blogger, and he just put everything at X magazine publication. So for those of you who don't know, who haven't been following Concert Crap, who are maybe you're new to Concert Crap, my name is Corey Kleinsasser. I guess you can say I'm everything. If you want to say editor-in-chief, I was using for a while. I'm the owner, I'm the promotions director, I'm the social media manager, and I'm anything else you can think of at Concert Crap.
So everything that you can think of for Concert Crap, it's all about Corey. He's the guy, okay? So he's the guy who does all this. And for me, I guess my title is technical director, editor. I do the videos, I'm doing the audio, I'm producing the podcast. That's what my job is, I suppose.
And who are you exactly? I didn't even get
that's
your name.
right. Who am I? My name is Chris Ventura, and I've known Corey for quite a while. Actually, we went to school together, college.
Yeah, we went to college. I would say 2013 or 14 we first met. We actually had a few classes together, and then did a few more things at the Poly Post,
which is the school newspaper. Yeah, the
newspaper publication there, online and printed newspaper. So we did a few things there, and then, like I said, we just had a few classes together too. And
now this goes back to the beginning of what Concert Crap is all about, and where it started because of a class at Cal Poly, right?
Yeah, it's actually funny. I actually just brought this up to you the other day because I was just trying to think of who did I have in that class with me. Because for those of you that don't know, I actually started the website Concert Crap. It was actually concertcrap.wordpress.com at first before I bought the domain. But I started the actual website in the class. I think it was just called Online Media, if I remember right, Chris?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we all had to do a journal, like a online blog, for a particular topic, and yours was concerts.
Yeah, we had to think of it. I think by the end of the first week, and I was already going to a lot of concerts that whole. Was it quarters? It was quarters we were doing, right? Not semesters.
Yeah,
we were on the quarter system, and I was going to a concert at least one or two every single week. So we had to pitch it to the teacher by the end of the first week or the second week or the beginning of the second week. If I don't remember exactly the timeline, but we had to pitch it to her and just say, hey, this is my idea. What do you think? And she would just kind of just tell you to tweak that idea or just say, hey, go and run with it. And I told her my idea. Hey, I'm going to all these concerts. Can I just review concerts? Because that was honestly, at the time, that was my dream job. If somebody could pay me to go and review concerts, that would have been my dream job. Obviously, in hindsight, that's not really a dream job. That's not really a job per se in general anymore. But it's still something that I've run with ever since then. And the teacher said it was a great idea and just said, go for it. And here we are today.
Yeah, and it just took off from there. And I'm not sure, Corey, if you thought about this even happening out of that class, is that not only did you get a chance to review concerts like you want to do, but you actually got to interview and get to know some of the artists, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't think of it until actually after the class was over, because it was still a 10-week quarter for the entirety of the class. So at the end of it, I was just like, oh, okay, like nothing's going to happen with this blog afterwards. Like the class is over. I got my grade. I think I got an A or a B in the class anyway. I did pretty well in the class, not to brag or anything, But after the class was over, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is just sitting here. Why don't I just continue doing something with it? And then as time was going on, I was just like, oh, okay, why don't I interview artists? Why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? I was just thinking of ideas upon ideas of how to grow and make this into a bigger thing than it already is. And like I said, here we are today. Like years from now, like I said, I started that. I can't remember exactly. Oh, it was in 2013. It was October 2013, because that's the date that's the month and year I always see whenever I see the start date of the website. So it was October 2013. So this year that means it'll be the 7th year that this website has been alive out there in the world. So that's crazy to think. That was almost 7 years ago now. That's awesome. Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I've known you for like 7 years now. That's crazy. I didn't even think of that.
There you go. Yeah, we're getting close to a decade pretty soon.
And now, I think actually I knew you before the class even started, so maybe a little bit more than 7 years now.
Right. Now, and I came aboard on Concert Crap, let me think. It was probably a couple years after college ended. I'd been watching what you're doing. I liked what you were doing, and I thought, well, maybe we could add some videos and some kind of multimedia to that.
And obviously we were already friends, like on Facebook and whatever other social media we had together too. So we would always see like what each other was producing, like before we even started talking about like working together, right?
Right, because at that time, right after college, I was trying to do like it was a live YouTube show. We did a few episodes of that. I actually had some guests in for that show. We did cover some music. We had a couple of musical performances on that. So it kind of got me started on the idea of what we could do together and collaborate on something like that. So now we're doing our podcast here.
So basically, you just wanted to take advantage of me and my platform. And
exactly.
Just,
yeah. No. See, I'm good at the technicals, I suppose, but I'm not good at ideas. I suck at ideas. So this is good.
In retrospect, too, like I'm not trying to make you seem like an asshole or anything, but you wanted to take advantage of me and what I was doing, and I honestly wanted to take advantage of what you were doing because I didn't know anybody else at the time. I still don't think I do know anybody.
So Corey, you have settled for less, basically, is what you're saying. You settled for me.
I settled with what I had, okay? I didn't have any other options, people. Come on.
Nice. All right. Well, I feel really good about things now. This will be the last episode of our show. I'm glad to be here.
No, but for those of you who don't know who we are, we're actually we're close with each other. We can always joke about things like this. So you'll definitely get that when you hear us in the future.
Yeah. Now, because I'm going to be covering more of the behind the scenes stuff, you're not going to hear me too often, but every now and then I might come in and talk about something or a topic that you guys are covering.
Trust me, I always want to bring you in on things, so I'll try to pull things out of you. I know you don't always. I know you enjoy the audio visual side of things, but I always want to hear your perspective on things because I know you're not like as in depth in the music world like I am. But I always like hearing opinions and hearing that outside feedback from whatever it is that we're trying to pursue or convey to people. And
I do appreciate you having confidence in me to do that because honestly, I'm afraid to sound like an idiot. So that's why I kind of stay in the background for a while. So
you're afraid of sounding like an idiot, homie. Like you don't even know how I feel right now. Like even just talking to you about this right now, like I'm trying to just make sure I don't stumble across my words and I sound as professional as possible and as good as possible. You're the guy that you're the guy that needs to make me sound like even better. Like put some what is it, auto-tune on it to make me sound like better than I actually am.
Maybe we'll do a whole auto-tune show someday.
There you go. In the future, people, keep an eye out for that.
Right.
You heard it here first.
Right. So the rest of the show is going to be basically introductions for our first episode, and everybody else who's going to be involved in our first few episodes are going to be interviewing each other and kind of giving them an introduction to who they are, what they're about, and why they're going to be a part of Concert Crap.
That is correct. We have a handful of people, a little under 10 people contributing, so we'll make sure we're on top of those people to make sure we get you guys hear a little bit more, not just me and Chris, because, everybody's going to get bored of me and you eventually. I hope they don't, but, like eventually I would get bored of myself and hearing myself over and over and over. Like even certain podcasters, I don't want to hear them over and over and over. I want to hear different personalities and different people. So we have a good team here behind the scenes at Concert Crap, and definitely people who obviously they have their own opinions. They have their own ideas when it comes to music and what they're passionate about. I want to hear what they have to say as well. So I want to see if you guys, the audience I'm talking to at Concert Crap right now, if you guys connect with and enjoy everybody else who's on the team, like talk to them individually, follow them on social media. You don't have to just follow Concert Crap.
Yeah, everybody has their own thing going on too.
Yeah, everyone has their own thing. Everyone has their own values, opinions, ideas. I always want to hear the feedback of anything anybody else has to say. So it won't just be me and Chris. So just so everybody knows.
Everybody feel better now? Okay, good. So you stick around? All right, wonderful.
Feel a little better.
All right.
Yeah, do I feel a little better? I feel a little better. Hopefully everybody else feels a little bit better too after this.
All right, so now after we listen to all of the introductions from everybody else, we're going to come back together at the end of the show today for a group chat, I suppose, for like a group discussion and see where everybody's at and talk about some of the stuff we have lined up for our next episodes.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Matt and Allie from Concert Crap. How you doing tonight, Allie?
So far, so good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. Just doing the best we can with quarantine right now. But it definitely gives us a very awesome opportunity to bring the team more closer together with this new podcast, whether they be in Southern California on the other side of the country. So I'm very excited to be talking to you, Allie. Yeah. And So I hear you're a new contributor to Concert Crap. Did you want to talk more about how you found Concert Crap and just basically your experience so far?
Yeah, totally. So I basically have been following Concert Crap on Instagram for 3, maybe 4 years now. And I was going to school for social media marketing. And I reached out to Corey just because everything that he was posting was everything that I was learning in class. So I just wanted to reach out to be like, hey, love your page. You're doing everything that I'm learning to do. So I really am happy that I have kind of your page to go off of as like what I should be doing for social media. So then we kind of started talking. We're both WWE fans, so kind of built a little friendship through that. And then on Facebook one day, I posted, I was like, does anybody have any experience with Google Docs? Just because I wanted, or not Google Docs, it was Google Blogs, there we go. Just because I wanted to have any outlet to write. And he messaged me and he was like, well, does any of your writing have to do with music? Because you can write for Concert Crap. And I was like, yes, it's always about music. So basically, I am pretty new. It's been about like 2 months. So just finished my first piece that I'm really excited to get published. And yeah, I'm happy to be a part of the team.
That's awesome, Allie. That's kind of how I got started too. Corey started the publication at university with us. We both went to Cal Poly Pomona. He had a digital media class. It was kind of an assignment for him to start and curate a blog, and he just kind of took it, from that class and expanded it to what it is now too. I'm very fortunate that he's had me along for the ride since 2014. He sent me out to cover the Self-Help Fest, the first one out in San Bernardino, and it's been kind of writing out with him ever since. Did you want to talk more about the piece you have in the pipeline for Concert Crap?
Sure. So basically, it's kind of hard to be inspired right now with music because we can't see any live music. So I was just drinking my coffee one morning and I was imagining like, God, what is it going to be like to go to my first concert again? And I was like, hey, there's something to write about. So I did a little descriptive piece of what it could potentially be like for anybody to go back to their first show. So I hope people like it.
That's awesome. I'm sure a lot of people will like it too. Just definitely in this climate too of just like wondering like when concerts are ever going to be back. The fact that it'd probably be at the soonest like spring 2021 because that's what Coachella is like, the third rescheduled date that they're pushing for. It seems so far away too, and I feel like if we just had like a really concrete date, we can hold out until then, but they keep pushing it back. But in the meantime, I'm sure definitely people will get a kick out of the article that you have in the pipeline and just kind of anticipating when that moment would be. In tangent to that too, I just wanted to ask you too, what do you like about music?
What do I like about music? There's so many things I could say to that, but the one thing that sticks out to me the most would be that no matter how you're feeling, what mood you're in, there is a genre, there's a song that can speak to you. So literally it's kind of like a everlasting thing where you're always going to be going through something, needing something to help you, and music is always there for you. So that's been kind of my biggest thing of why I love it.
Yeah, that's definitely a testament too about how you said music can always be there for you. I definitely feel like it's a lot of people's escape. Mine personally as well too. That's something I miss about concerts too. It's like just like a couple hours, you can just escape reality for a while. Just forget about your worries and just let loose and just enjoy the music and just immerse with the community too. Just find like-minded people who like the same music as you do and just grow and foster those friendships and relationships. And just it's awesome too to see that artists are like still keeping everything alive with live streams, but just missing that community aspect is like there's nothing really quite the same like that. So to follow up on that, what do you like about concerts?
Well, we definitely are similar in the sense where music is our escape. So for me, when I go to a concert, I just, no matter what has happened to me during the week, during the day, I go to a show, I am singing at the top of my lungs and I am dancing around, and that's just my escape. So I wouldn't be sane without it. So it's been hard to kind of keep my sanity without the live music because, like you said, live streams are great, but you miss the community aspect. You also, you hear a guitar riff on a live stream and you don't feel it in your body like you would at a show. So that's something too that everybody I'm sure misses.
Oh yeah, most definitely too. Just feeling those vibrations and just feeling like basically just the energy of the crowd and the energy of band, and both of them just like radiating back, between each other. It's just, there's nothing quite like it. I just to add to what I was saying earlier too, it's just it's a very unique experience. Like you can't really find anything else out there in the world that is like quite like going to an in-person concert. And even then, like the more intimate, like standing room only concerts too, there's nothing quite like it too. Just being immersed in that community, just talking to people, just being there in the crowd, and just actually seeing like, the actual humans that wrote like your favorite song or your favorite album, and just, finding out that they're people like you, and just,
It's the
just,
best, yeah. Being at an
yeah.
intimate show, you're feeling like you're getting a personal show, but you can be standing in the back of the crowd and you're like, yes, I made eye contact with the singer. We had a moment. And you can't do that in the stadium or at a festival. So that's a very special thing to have.
Yes, most definitely too. And definitely speaking onto that testament too, I feel like both you and I have had a lot of experience over the years on going to very different types of settings of concerts, whether it be a very intimate setting or a stadium. So I wanted to ask you too, what are your top 3 concerts that you've been to?
All right, top 3. First one has to be K-Rock Almost Acoustic Christmas in 2006. That was the first time I ever saw Panic at the Disco, and I am a diehard Panic fan.
Nice.
So I'll never forget, I went with my dad. I was only 12 years old, and Brendan Urie, he did this little dance with 2 of the circus dancers next to him, and he started grabbing himself down there, and my dad put his hands over my eyes. Stupid little 12-year-old that I am, I push his hands away. I'm like, no, Dad, I need to see this. Crazy 12-year-old I was, but ever since that show, we ended up, that was kind of our tradition. Every year we'd go to Acoustic Christmas. Another one, Papa Roach at the House of Blues on Sunset Strip. That was the first show I ever moshed at, so that's always going to be a big part of my memory. First show you mosh at, you never forget. Most recently, I saw Bad Flower. They're kind of a newer rock band. They played the El Rey Theater for their album tour, OK, I'm Sick. And that was the first show I ever went solo to. And I am a very anxious person. I don't like doing things by myself. So to kind of be able to break that boundary and go to a show, have a good time by myself, that was a big deal for me. So yeah, can't complain.
That's awesome. Those are all really good experiences. Definitely just to see Panic, in my opinion, in their prime too, just during the Fever You Can't Sweat Out album. It's such an iconic album, and I definitely feel like it's on a lot of people's like top 10 like albums of all time. And there was definitely a very iconic era, and it's pretty awesome to hear that you were able to, to experience that. Definitely a big Papa Roach fan myself too, so I really resonate with. Yeah.
They're so good. Can't go wrong. It's a classic.
Exactly, you can't go wrong. I would say for my top 3, the first one would be A Day to Remember back in 2010, and it's so hard to believe that it's been a decade. It's just that the years have like flown by.
Yeah.
But in the sense too, there's been a lot of really good concert memories in between. But yeah, A Day to Remember's Torsik tour, they were touring in support of their album Homesick, which is definitely what got me into the band in the first place. And it was a super solid lineup. It was A Day to Remember, August Burns Red, Silverstein, Enter Shikari, and Go Radio too. And I was so bummed I missed Go Radio because I'm definitely a big Mayday Parade fan. I didn't know that it was Jason Lancaster's band at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was definitely able to see Go Radio down the line too. But even still, it was such a phenomenal show, and just every single band was super talented, and everybody was just like, immersed in the experience. It's just definitely a very fond memory that I definitely cherish. The second show that I would say would be my all-time favorite was pretty recently with the Ghost Inside at the Shrine. And that was a very, very even though it was a big crowd, it was a very intimate experience in the sense that the band was really real with the crowd. For those of you who don't know, The Ghost Inside is a popular metalcore band that had to put their career on hold 5 years ago because the band and the crew were involved in a very serious car accident that left them with a lot of injuries that they had to heal from. But they're back, and they played like they never skipped a beat I mean, sure, they weren't moving around as much as they did back in the day, but the music was solid, the timing and everything, and just the emotion, the whole entire crowd. They sold out not only the shrine, but the shrine's parking lot as well, too, and that's a very major feat. The only other band I ever seen that did that was Bring Me the Horizon, so that definitely speaks not only to like how good the show was, but also just how tight their community was, that even years after, they just came out from all parts of the world, from Southern California, from like Germany and everything like that, to just support the band, and like I guess they're coming backstage. And then the third concert that I would say would be my all-time favorite would be the second to last self-help that happened in San Bernardino. The lineup was stacked for that. It was The Day to Remember, Papa Roach. It was actually my first time seeing Papa Roach too, so I was very excited to see them, and just a whole bunch of other talented bands as well too. I was on assignment for Concert Crap at that show too, and I was really excited to take pictures of Papa Roach, but their photo pit barrier broke like right before the band was like gonna go on, so security had to come and like secure it. And they said, oh yeah, you can shoot from sound booth. And so I took a couple pictures from sound booth. I didn't really have any telephoto lenses, so their set was definitely amazing. Just taking pictures definitely wasn't as memorable, but even still, just the whole entire like festival in itself was just a really fun experience to be a part of, especially to not only being able to have the privilege to take pictures of A Day to Remember set, but also just to stick around for the very end of the encore if it means a lot to you, and just seeing fireworks shoot up. Yeah, it was such a surreal moment. I definitely hold that very close to my heart.
That's a stacked lineup for that show, though. I would have gone crazy if I was there. Silverstein, I've never seen Silverstein, and I would love to see them one day, I hope.
It's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you will after the pandemic, too. I know Shane's been doing stuff online, just like all the other stuff, like live concert streams and whatnot, too. It definitely... I will speak to that band that they consistently put out a solid show, and I know that's super hard for a band that's so mature and seasoned just to keep that energy up, but they rise to the challenge too with every show. I honestly take great pleasure in watching them every single time they come to Southern California too, and it's so cool because this band like actually knows the community. I saw them one time at Warped Tour. I can't remember what year, but like the theme of Warped Tour was like the best day ever. And Shane was like on stage and he was like, if you're not having the best day ever yet, there's still a lot of time. We're from Ontario, not Ontario down the street. We were in Pomona. If you guys don't know, like there's a city called Ontario down the street. So yeah, but he's like, no, we're from Ontario, Canada, not from Ontario, California. And it's just awesome that he has like, you know, that relationship with his fans. You know, not only do they have solid music, but I like that in a band where they can just like converse in the crowd in between and just, you know, create like that tighter knit of just community. But yeah, I'm sure that definitely...
You're selling them really well, and I really want to see them now. So we got to make this happen. Come on, COVID.
Yes, we got to make this happen. And I'm sure they'll be right back to it as soon as the pandemic's done.
Yes.
Yes. And we'll be waiting for that time too. But for right now, this is Matt and Allie with Concert Crap, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
My name is Scott Raymer, and I'm here with Sam Kerrigan, who will be contributing to the new Concert Crap podcast. Good evening, Sam. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. There are several people from all over the country that are contributing to the Concert Crap website at this point. So what made you decide to join the Concert Crap crew?
Well, I was actually looking over a multitude of publications and came across Concert Crap and loved the idea of how inclusive the blog was and how real Corey ran the blog. The Instagram isn't cookie cutter. It's very like for the people, very interactive. And I absolutely love that because I'd rather join a blog that is more real versus a blog that is cookie cutter and doesn't really follow the fun guidelines that come with concerts. So I really thought it was like super cool to see that because I've never seen memes on a concert page or anything like that. I've never seen a concert page react to people who are commenting and posting and so many giveaways and stuff like that. I was like, this is just like an all around great place.
Right.
To be. So I was like, I definitely want to join.
So there's a lot of different roles. People have different roles within the website. What is your current role with Concert Crap?
Before the pandemic, I was a photographer. I decided to join as a photographer because I actually just started concert photography fairly new back in October-ish of 2019. And I was happy to find out that Concert Crap was going to take me on as a photographer. And Corey even said that, hey, if you would like to, you can contribute as a writer too. And I decided to potentially start tapping into the writing. But I mainly joined as a photographer and now part-time writer and part-time podcaster.
Great. So how long have you actually been contributing to Concert Crap? You said for
since October, actually.
Since October?
Right. Yep, right when I started doing concert photography.
So Concert Crap is focused, like you said, on music, a lot of different things. What do you love about music?
Absolutely everything. My favorite thing is definitely the concerts themselves. I love the atmosphere. You kind of find your own people when you go to a concert that you enjoy because everyone there enjoys that person, and it's great. My biggest thing is watching performers as they're sharing their music with everyone because they're their own type of artist. And I especially love going to concerts and as a photographer because then I get to do my artwork as I'm watching someone else share their artwork with the world. And I love that, and I love the atmosphere, and I love the support that fans bring to concerts. So my biggest thing about the music is definitely the actual concerts, and it's very heartbreaking seeing that they're not happening right now.
Right. A lot of the site's content obviously is centered around concerts themselves. So what is it about concerts that you love?
It's definitely that atmosphere that everyone brings, the happiness, the joy. I mean, there really is no bad time at a concert. You know, I could lose myself when at a concert and I'd still be like, I'm still happy to be here, honestly.
What is the best concert you've actually attended?
My best concert that I've attended is probably the Dan and Shay concert. I attended it in Tampa, Florida. It wasn't actually Dan and Shay headlining, but I went for them. It was Florida Georgia Line headlining. It was awesome. That was like one of the best concerts because I love Dan and Shay and I love Florida Georgia Line. And I was just excited that they went on tour together.
Yeah, sometimes that happens where, it's not the opening band, but it's not the headlining band, but it's that opening band that sometimes can be better than the actual headlining band.
Exactly. And it's even better when they're both equally great. That's what I love.
Right. Okay.
Definitely.
And from a podcast perspective, what will you be focusing on in your segments?
So my segment will be Country Music Minute. It will be all about country. I think I am one of the only few people on the team that is in love with country music. So I'm trying to bring light to that genre because not a lot of people like to shine light on country. And it's really not all that bad.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for spending time with us. And I look forward to your future podcasts.
Thank you.
So now we'll turn it over to Sam now, and Sam can continue with the interview.
All right, perfect. So now I'm going to be interviewing Scott. So Scott, what is your position at Concert Crap? And, why did you decide to join?
Basically, very similar to you. I started off as a photographer, concert photography, and writing reviews. Similarly, because of the pandemic, I've expanded into a lot of other things where I've started writing articles, writing reviews, doing announcements, and now getting into podcasts. So it's basically definitely taken off from where I initially started. I joined Concert Crap because I wanted to expand my concert photography, and really to do that, you had to really be shooting for somebody, shooting for a media outlet. So I was looking for a media outlet that could get me more exposure, get me into bigger and better shows. So I went out and browsed the web, Googled concert websites, looked at their content and so forth, and came across Concert Crap and liked what I saw. I liked the fact that they weren't just concert photos. and reviews, but there was also album reviews and interviews and a much more diverse set of content for the website. So that was the thing that really attracted me to it.
Yeah, me too. I really like I said before, how it's not cookie cutter. It's just, there's a little bit of everything.
Right.
I love that. How long have you been contributing to Concert Crap?
I've been contributing since January, so a little over 6 to 7 months now.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And what is your favorite thing about music? Is it the concerts? Is it the kind of sound that goes with it? Is it seeing them live? What is it for you?
Right. Well, I guess first of all, like music, just in general, to me, music it may sound kind of weird, but it's kind of like my way of escaping from reality. So I like to kind of almost, when I listen to songs, kind of almost imagine that I'm, that person. I kind of put myself into their shoes. Like I'm out there on stage singing. I'm Gerard Way out there singing in front of a big crowd, or I'm, Billy Joe Armstrong playing a guitar or something like that. So it's kind of, just a way for me, a way of just escaping from everyday life. And pretty much most of my life I can associate with a song. So every time my heart was broken, I can give you a song that was kind of like associated with that. So it's just a way of, again, escaping and, kind of, relating my life to the music and so forth.
So I imagine, because you love music, you love concerts, hopefully half as much as I do at least. What is your favorite thing about going to concerts, though?
I think my favorite thing is, from a couple different perspectives. From a photographer, I just love being in a photo pit and being 2 inches away from an artist, where you could just go out there and touch their shoe if you wanted to, or grab their leg. So just being there's being in front row and there's being in the front of the front row. So from that perspective, that's what I love about photographing concerts. From just going to listen to concerts, to me, it's more the experience. It's not really necessarily all the music, because, in most cases, the music in the concert is not as good as the recording. And you never quite get the same amount of sound. So to me, it's about the experience. It's going there, again, being in the same building with that artist. I like to observe the crowd. I'm a people observer, so I always like to look at people and how are they dressed and how are they behaving and things like that. So it's really kind of the atmosphere of the show versus more of the music of the show.
For sure. So as a music photographer, I know that you've definitely been to your fair share of concerts and fair share of venues. Do you have a favorite venue?
Yes, I would say my favorite venue from a photography perspective is actually local here in Pensacola, which is where I live, called the Vinyl Music Hall. And it's a fairly small facility. It has maybe capacity of 800 people, but it's really close and intimate. There's an upper level where basically fans will line around the top and kind of look down. So I'm able to move all over and shoot from all sorts of different angles and go up and, shoot from behind the stage from an upper level, go shoot it from the side, from above, go back into the VIP areas and shoot. And so I'm able to get a lot of different angle shots that maybe in a lot of other venues I wouldn't be able to get because I'd be much more restricted.
Oh, I totally understand that. I love being able to move freely. You're not just put in one spot. It's just so much easier. My final question for you is, do you have a favorite genre, either to photograph or to listen to?
Right. I would say musically, I'm pretty diverse. I listen to everything from classical music to Sinatra to 50s to 60s rock. But I would say right now what I listen to the most is probably, it's hard to classify music sometimes. I would say it's definitely rock, but more alternative or pop punk type of music that's up-tempo. So bands like Green Day, Blink-182, Sum 41, My Chemical Romance is probably the majority of the stuff that I listen to. I can throw Taylor Swift in there, which is kind of like totally different from any of those, but I like Taylor Swift as well. From a photography perspective, I like bands that are very animated, or very visual. So I tend to go more towards things. Probably a lot of them have been like metal type bands, or even death metal bands. So the ones that put on the weird makeup and, you know, very animated and so forth. So bands like Avatar or Max Sabbath and those type of bands are the ones that I really like to photograph.
They give the best photos. They really do. It's just different. I love it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you answering all the questions and letting all of our listeners get to know you a little bit better. Once again, I'm Sam and this is Scott, and we thank you all for taking the time to get to know us.
Hey guys, I'm Gigi.
And I'm Christine.
And we're going to talk about concert crap because, duh, that's what we're here to do.
Exactly. So I'm one of the writers for Concert Crap. And Gigi, you are on social media?
Yeah, yes, I contribute.
Okay.
And then, so I'm the one posting. I help Corey post on the Instagram.
Dude, those stories are awesome.
Thank you. It's so funny because when I first started doing those with Corey, I felt like I was very just very like programmed, very like, oh, here is a new post, here is this. Yeah. And I feel like the longer I do it, the more I kind of like find my voice in it, and I'm like having fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I love getting to be creative with like the social media aspect of it.
Yeah. So what made you get into that though? Like, did you do like photography first or anything first before you got into social media?
No. So I started Concert Crap, oh my gosh, probably like 3-4 years ago, a really long time ago.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's definitely more people who have been there longer. But I started it just because like I ideally, honestly, like really and truly, I would just love to like write about concerts and like, you know, just be involved in like some sort of like music theme.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, anything like music related, like I would love to have that be like my day job, you know? And so I started it just because that was like an opportunity for me, and I was like, this is so cool. And someone brought it to my attention, and she was like, hey, you should like talk to these people, like maybe they can like do something with you or whatever. And I was like, very cool. So I did that, and then at the time I was like kind of contributing. Corey was so cool with like letting me photograph, and I'm like not at all a concert photographer. I would say I'm first and foremost like a writer. That's like my thing.
Yeah.
But he did let me try photographing a few bands, like the Regrets. I don't know if you've heard them. They were like at Weenie Fest or whatever.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I know that.
They're like up and coming, dude. Yeah. Anyways, I photographed them like at Echo Park like a long time ago at the Echoplex. But so that's kind of how I got into that. And I just like after he said he needed someone to help with social media, I was like, heck yeah, sign me up. So that's what I've been.
There you go. It sounds
cool. When did you start with Concert Crap?
Honestly, I think February, because like right after COVID started, like, so I don't know, one day we were just like chatting it up, and I was like, hey, by the way, I'm a writer and I have some like writing content if you want to look at it, because like I'm interested in like writing for your like page basically. And because I like been a big like supporter and follower, and everyone in my family, like they love Concert Crap, and that's how I discovered them. So I was like, all right, and like at a hazy night, I'm like, hey dude,
hey man,
and he's like, you know, maybe, like maybe you should come and write for us. I was like, all right, like, you know, like, because I go to concerts all the time. Well, I used to go to concerts all the time, and it's fun. And I also have like a minor and like, well, I'm getting a minor in like rock music history. So I love all that. I love writing. I love music, like, especially cool. Rock music. So hell yeah, it just works. I was like, why not? And then like they needed more writers anyway, so So yeah.
Yeah,
that's
for
it.
sure. That is so cool.
Yeah,
I took a history of rock and roll class one time, and it was like the coolest thing I'd ever done. I like learned so
right?
much.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You know what? Like breaks my heart because one of the first times I started taking those classes, Glenn Fry died.
Oh
And we
shit.
walked in and the Eagles was like playing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad. So that was the whole lesson of that day. And there's like a lot of like documentaries you like watch, like the Crossroads, like those Crossroads. That's another good like Netflix music documentary to check out. Like definitely.
Oh, dude, for sure. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I love the
love
Eagles.
history. Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly.
I know. Got to pay respect to the greats for sure.
Oh yeah, dude, that was a hard year. It was like it was him, Bowie. It was like a bunch of people that year. So it's like
Right?
wow.
I know.
I was like, wow.
I know. We lost a lot of good ones that year. No, I totally remember what you're talking about. Like that day and everything.
Yeah,
But I mean, like speaking of like concerts and stuff, like what about concerts do you love, like specifically?
Oh my gosh. I think honestly it's being the people there. Like I used to love going for the bands, but then you just like you meet so many like unique people like Ozfest and stuff, and they become like your family and you just know them for like years and years, and it's like wow. So I think like just knowing people and making like best friends, I think that's like my favorite part of like shows. It's like this is what brought us together. But then it's like, hey, I saw you at this concert. I saw you here. Oh, hey, what's up at House of Blues? Like same person. Like we all like we all love the same thing, and I think that's a cool part of concerts because you get to actually like be friends with these people and share that like common interest, and definitely. I think I like that.
No, I know what you're talking
performance,
about.
especially like Brown Zombie's performance is like bad. It's like awesome. It's like you feel like you're in a horror film. So,
Really?
Yeah. I was tripping out because he'll like be at once like on the stage like for a minute, and then like next minute, I mean, he'll be like right next to you. It's like what the hell did that happen?
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, Ross is really cool dude. Like he's one of my favorite concerts actually. Like to see live. Like I had to go see them like Marilyn Manson or Ross Zombie. I love both of their performances. The last performance I have to say about like before until COVID was a Chain Reaction. That's what I was gonna ask you. What was your last concert you saw live?
The last concert I saw was actually in November. It was Two Door Cinema Club, and Peach Pit opened for them. Yeah, Two Door is my favorite. Like anytime I can see them, because they're like from Northern Ireland, and I don't know what it is about them. But they just
I'm playing right now.
Oh really? Yeah.
I have an indie playlist and stuff. I have all that on there.
That's so funny. I know, dude. I love it. Like I don't know, Northern Ireland. Like they just don't come ever. So anytime they come, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go see them. So they were playing at the Hollywood Bowl. But I just I hate that venue so much. The parking sucks. Like, it's everything about it. So I drove down to San Diego. I went to go see them at the North Park Observatory, which North Park is my favorite area in San Diego. You're from San Diego.
Yeah, that's what the street.
Or you live there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
at the moment.
Yeah, and then I live in Orange County, so it made no sense for me to drive down there, but I was like, I'm going there because I love North Park.
It's fun.
So yeah, I saw them, and I got their set list at the end of the show, and it was a really, really fun time. So it was a good, I mean, I didn't know it at the time, obviously. It would be the last concert for a long, long ass time, but it was good.
Because honestly, the concert I went to before was The Used, Thrice, and it was Sleeping with Cyrus. It was a big lineup down here in San Diego, and that was the last festival I went to. And I'm glad I went to that one because it's shows and everything's been shut down. So it's I'm glad I actually bought tickets to that, and then went to Cherry Reaction, saw Half Heart. Yeah, so that's definitely my last concert was Half Heart, and then the last festival was The Used. And The Used is actually my first concert. So it's kind of like the irony, you know, like I haven't seen the youth since I was a teenager, and that's gonna be like my last festival before the concert.
Dude, you came full circle.
Right?
That's crazy. Yeah. I know my first concert was Blink-182, so I don't know when I'll see them again. But see, they wouldn't be the same now, though. Like if I saw them, it'd be a different Blink.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, what's your favorite venue?
I actually, that was my first time at the North Park Observatory, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
So I would say there, or oh man. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I hate every venue. I feel like the first thing that came to mind were like the ones that I despise.
Every venue. Oh my god.
Which one do I like?
Right.
I have to say North Park. I think it was that was a good venue because I don't know if you've been to the observatory in Santa Ana. They pack you in like sardines. It's super hot. It's not cool. Even like to go around and like walk around. Yeah. Even like to walk around after. There's like a Carl's Jr. and that's it. And I'm like, okay, North Park, you can walk around and there's like 1,200 breweries like all around you.
Yeah, we're like the microbrewery, the capital of the world or whatever.
Truly, yeah. So
like it's every corner. There's at least 5 in every corner in San Diego.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
There really is. Yeah.
What I hated, what I hate or what I think is a crappy venue is the House of Blues in Anaheim before they moved it.
Oh, okay, the old one.
Yeah.
Was I at the old one? I think the one in Downtown Disney.
Yeah. The reason why I was saying that because Stone Sour, there's a bunch of bands that like spoken out about the this like censorship of their shows. So it's like, oh, if you're not gonna censor yourself, you can't play here anymore. So they just go all out, and then never play at that venue again. And they'll like point Disneyland out for that too.
That's crazy. I heard that
concerts like that. Like it's crazy.
Really? Ew.
Yeah,
I actually heard that's why like they moved out of downtown Disney because it was like too strict and like it put on like a weird vibe for people who were going to those shows. Oh, yeah. The fact that it was in a Disney park, you know?
Right? Yeah. I think that's just like random. I think that's like a very random venue just because I don't know, like I've seen a lot of bands. Like my second band was Pop Roach, you know, and then my buddies, they're my buddies now. No Warning, so it's weird because it's like that was like my first band that I met, and like now being like friends with them is like kind of like we're talking about like a first full circle. So it's like pretty cool, but no, everyone always had like complaints about that venue particularly just because it's Disney and you have to like censor yourself for like everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I mean I'm glad that they like got out of that venue. I think it just opens like wider audiences to go to shows that are going to be at House of Blues because it's not in Disney.
Yeah, you know, exactly
for sure, it's a lot more spacious. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Have you been to there's like other stuff to do around it too. Yeah, I went to like a St. Patrick's Day like event there. It wasn't a concert, but they like were talking about it like, oh, there's gonna be DJs and this and that and whatever. And it was in St. Patrick's Day. So my friends and I went expecting like a party vibe, and we get there and it was like a shitty garage band, like not a fun one. It just like wasn't the vibe. Like they like were advertising it as like a party scene, like not clubbish, but you know, like hey, music, drinks, like St. Patrick's Day, you know. Yeah. And we get there and it's like these like just like these kids like playing some weird, and then they had like girls dancing on like boxes and shit, not boxes, like go-go dancers, like go-go dancers dancing to like garage band music, and we all were like, what is this? And like I met these girls in the bathroom and they all were like, did you guys come here thinking it was a party? And we were like, yeah. And they were like, what is this? It was super weird.
The whole like it's not the same idea.
Yeah, because like that's how they were advertising it. And we're like, yeah, someone on PR like.
Oh, great! We need to talk about this advertisement definitely on their site someday.
I know. We were like, what happened?
Crappy advertisement. There you
Honestly.
go. I could go on about that one, but I won't. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, we're super excited to continue talking, for as long as this podcast goes, which is going to be forever.
Yeah, we could keep going on this one for sure. But thanks for listening. Honestly, this was amazing.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, so that's some of the people we're going to have on our show, and that's our cast. But we're joined with everybody right now to have our little chat. We have almost everybody with us today, except for who? Allie, right?
No, Allie is here. Gigi is the only one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Couldn't make it.
Gigi couldn't make it. Okay, well, welcome everybody. It's we're taping this segment pretty early in the morning, so forgive me. Okay, so hi everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Hola.
We're doing fantastic.
Tired?
We're all just a little tired, everybody. Don't worry. Our professionalism will excel after the first episode.
Yeah, I have not been up this early on a Saturday since I was a kid to watch Saturday morning cartoons. So I don't even know what 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday is like.
You're totally fine, Chris.
Yeah.
We're all in the same boat.
Who picked this time, by the way? Was it you, Corey?
No, this is actually all Chris.
No, it is not me. Trust me. Oh boy, no way. I had to set my alarm. I set like 5 alarms, and I almost missed this meeting still. So.
Oh my god.
Like I said, this is my standard. This is my standard wake up time. I still went to bed at like 3:30 in the morning, so I'm here and accounted for. So.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah, I got a text from Corey saying, "Hey, can you join the meeting?" I'm like, "Yes, just give me 1 second, please."
That's how I felt. I was like, I need to pour a coffee. Because last time in my meeting, I made coffee and I did not pour a cup for myself. I just like went in the meeting like that. And I was like so tired. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take an extra minute to pour a cup. So I was like, all right, cool.
Well, I'm really excited about this new podcast that we're doing. I think everybody is very enthusiastic, and they have a pretty big role to play. Everybody, I was not expecting what I heard from everybody, because you all are. This is, I guess, most of you or everybody's first podcast, but you guys sound like professionals, and I'm really excited about this.
Yeah. Does anybody here have like any podcast experience?
No.
I've done like
no.
but nothing music.
Corey, I guess you, me, and Chris kind of do, right?
Yeah, somewhat. This is somewhat we could call this like 2.0, the launch of the second iteration of the podcast. We can all do this remotely now, so I think that helps it too. Like we all just kind of rolled out of bed right now too, especially like people who are.
Yeah, the remote thing is actually a lot easier because it's harder to get so many people together in the same place at the same time. Now we just do this, and we just, like you said, just woke up and here we are. Wow, we're taping a show. Holy cow.
All of us on very little sleep. The only one who looks like a little bit more enthused is Scott, I'd say.
Oh yeah, Scott, where do you live? You're on the East Coast time, right?
Yeah, that's the advantage. I'm in Pensacola, so I'm.
Oh wow, yeah, you've been up for hours. Wow, lucky guy.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, like who's listening, most of us here are on the West Coast in Southern California. So Sam and Scott are the only two who are not kind of where we are. But yeah, lucky you guys.
Until the hurricane hits.
Oh, there you go.
Oh no.
I'm good. I'm like right in the bay. We don't really get hit. We haven't gotten hit in a while, so.
You guys will be our live on-site reporters for those hurricanes. We'll be sure to sprinkle those in the meetings.
Well, let's just go down in order who we have here on the Zoom right now. Let's go in order from what I see here. So, Scott, what are some of the focuses that you'll be doing, focusing on the show?
I think some of the things I'm going to be doing are, because I tend to be, I think I'm by far the oldest person in the group, probably more than nostalgia. I don't think probably anybody in the group was even born in the 80s. So I think it'll give you a little bit different perspective to do some things. So I want to do some things like 80s track of the week, maybe music and politics, which can relate to what's going on with current times as well. And then maybe discuss some of the rock legends that are no longer with us, which could span multiple generations from early rock to more recent people as well.
Okay, that's good, Scott. I'm going to be probably with you on some of those episodes because I am a child of the 80s, so we can probably talk about some things like that together.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay, Sam, what about you? What are you going to be covering on the show?
My main focus is going to be bringing country music to the Concert Crap fans. So I'll be focusing on the Country Music Minute, which I'll talk about upcoming album releases, eventually when concerts come back. So mainly just postponed concerts and what's happening with that. Any drama that's going on, literally anything in the country world, I'm going to focus on it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and keep in mind, and for anybody listening to, and this, the only reason I gave Sam a minute for this is because our audience is very against country music. So
wow,
if we give them, if we give them a taste of country music, then I'd say they'd be for it, and they won't leave our broadcast just because I don't. Nothing against country music and everything, Sam, you as well.
Everything against it.
I don't want people to drop off just because we're talking about country music here and there, you know.
Hey, you know what? They might like it. Okay, just give them what try something new. They might like it, so I'm sure they'll be okay with it.
They'll come from the woodworks and they'll be like, "Hey, finally!"
Yeah, right. Finally, somebody's talking about country. Now I can admit that I love country too, right? Yeah.
The 1%.
All right, Allie, what are you going to become focusing on in the show?
So I'm a pretty random person, so I kind of just want to focus on any way to connect music with any type of topic. So one example, I know we have a few WWE fans in here, so I want to do something about just kind of music and bands that we've discovered from watching WWE. So there's a little example.
Okay, and Matt, I know that you usually do concert photography. Will you be covering any of that on the show?
Yeah, most definitely. I'll be covering photography in terms of just kind of like gear that you may want to check out, some tips and tricks that you may want to bring to the field when concerts come back up, the transition right now from quarantine back to concerts whenever that may happen, and also maybe a couple highlights of some photographers that I know right now are killing it.
Okay, and Christine, how about yourself?
Okay, so I have kind of like a little list, like music and film, like soundtracks and films like Rockstar or Cross Universe. Maybe do a little review, a little like solo segment. I like to talk about music conspiracies. Me and Corey and I forget who else. I think Christy too, the other Christy. I think we were talking about conspiracies like, okay, did Kurt Cobain commit suicide or was he murdered? You know, stuff like that. Discuss a little bit about that. Also, I think maybe like I'm thinking about doing like maybe an educational segment where we discuss about different music genres. Like the other day I discovered, was it cowpunk? And I was like, what is this? I was like, I never heard of cowpunk before. So, you know, maybe I could throw that in there. So that's just, you know, just a little bit I'm coming up with.
Okay, and Corey, well, you're the main guy here, so what, you're going to be talking about conspiracy theories too? I had no idea there was music conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, in anything you look up, you can dive down a deep rabbit hole with anything, especially when it comes to music too. But I'm going to be jumping in on pretty much a lot of these conversations with a lot of these people, with a lot of everybody here and anybody else going forward. But just jumping in and, you know, giving my thoughts, opinions, ideas on specific things, whether it is WWE related content, photography content from an outsider's perspective, because I don't know much myself in the world of photography. So maybe I jump in with Matt or jump in even with Scott and talk about, you know, very, very old and retro tracks from things that you guys grew up with, you and him, or like we were just talking about right now with Christine, is the conspiracy theories as well. So those, as well as, you know, just jumping in and just trying to just give more of a, I guess, objective and subjective opinion on specific things that we're going to talk about, and just kind of just manage and oversee everything that everybody's doing, just to give my, like I said, thoughts, opinions, and ideas, because I want everybody on the team to voice out as much as they can on anything for the podcast. And, you know, we're all here to be as creative as possible and just talk about what we love, music and concerts in general. So
Great. And as for me, you may rarely hear me, but if you do hear me, it's because I actually woke up in time. So that's when you'll hear me. So,
So of course, I want everybody to follow Concert Crap on all major social medias. I don't want to list them all here. I'll put a whole bunch of them in the description below. But Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We do have a TikTok, which I never post to. We do have a Snapchat I never post to. So don't follow us on those. But follow all the individuals here. Sam, Ali, Scott, Matt, Christine, Chris, myself. Follow all our personals as well. We all have our own Instagrams as well. We're all posting about everything we love with music as well. So feel free to follow all the major, follow all of us on social media.
And let's not forget Gigi. She would love to be here if she could.
Yeah, thank you, Gigi, for being here. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Or not being here.
For sure.
We'll throw in an ad lib for Gigi. After,
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that she is here, so thank you for being here, Gigi. Appreciate it.
For sure.
But follow us on YouTube as well. We may get these up on YouTube. And Chris, really quick, where is the podcast going to be available for everybody who wants to download it or listen to it?
The podcast will be on Anchor, but it's also going to be available to be searched online, I believe. So probably if you use the iTunes search engine, you should be able to find it. We're going to we're going to work that out, and hopefully, well, if you're listening to this, thank God, I guess you found us. So, right? Because I mean,
yeah, we're going to be expanding. So just we'll be sure to have it more prepared in the future. But we're still in the talks of where we're going to be. Not producing this, but broadcasting this.
I really imagine that you'll have a link on the front of the page, right?
We'll have a link in the description.
Yeah. Just go to concertcrap.com and you'll find it. Trust me.
Yeah, we'll be sure
talking about it nonstop. So that's it.
Yeah, and I'm sure all you guys are going to push it out as well on your own socials. So thank you for that in the future. If anybody has any, I'm talking to the audience here, of course, but if anybody has any ideas of what they would want us to discuss or any specific things, even if you're like in a band yourself and you want us to like cover your music, or if you're like a random band who hasn't hit it big yet, but you kind of like want some coverage or something, feel free to hit us up at concertcrapcc, the letter cc, at gmail.com. That is our main focus. That is our main like area of communication. So just hit us up at that email or hit us up on any of the social medias and we'll be sure to get back to you as soon as we can.
All right. So thanks for joining us, everybody. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for waking up this early. Well, everybody's dead. Well, everybody fell asleep apparently. Huh?
I didn't know that was our cue. I didn't know that was our cue. So.
Hey, I got it.
No, thank you very much. And we'll be back, I guess, in a couple weeks, right? We're going to be doing this every 2 weeks, hopefully, with the new show.
Every couple weeks. We'll definitely get a good system going after all this.
All right. We'll say goodbye, everybody, to the audience. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye. Peace.
For sure.